With patch 9.11 out, we have gotten some more lore drops in the form of voicemails and emails. But let's start off with this one voicemail from Vyse.
My interversal probes have been sending me improbable readouts all day. I initially assumed
I'd encountered a malfunction, but the readings spiked on each of the probes in sequence, like a wave rolling through a string of buoys. They're calibrated correctly, and I validated the software. They're working as intended. Something is affecting the Interverse, Brimstone, and these readouts seem similar to those my former team gathered the day that... Call me back. Something is happening. I need to know what.
It's no secret that we're getting more and more information about the Interverse, yet somehow we still know so little about it. And I've mentioned this a couple of times in the past. I've done some Googling. The Interverse has a lot of different meanings, but you can basically sum it up as a space where different realities, ideas can converge into, basically as a way to explore new universes, dimensions, and travel between them as well. We kind of have a little bit of examples of the Interverse already shown in Valorant, one of which was in Chamber's trailer, where we saw him and his double opening doors into this like space where Brimstone was being held. There was also this image of Chamber in between two Earths. Maybe not Chamber, but we saw two Earths that were kind of like mirrored each other and weren't exactly copies. And then you have ISO, who can create a pocket dimension within the Interverse itself, at least according to this email that we got. And we can't forget about Astra, where technically the astral plane is a type of Interverse. Probably not the same one that Vyse and a lot of other third-party entities in Valorant's universe is doing studies on, but maybe it could be. And I know Yoru too. Yoru's a little bit far-fetched. I'm not too sure the pocket dimensions that he creates could be considered an Interverse. Maybe they could in a way, but a different type of one regardless. But now the question is, who is causing this problem? Well, we have a couple of people and things that could be upsetting the natural balance of the Interverse, one of which is Kingdom themselves. They're all about progressing technology to make life easier for other people, therefore making them richer. We saw this with the Radivore experiments, where they weren't really doing the most humane and safe studies on these creatures, and it really bite them in the butt. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if Kingdom is continuing this interversal study despite the possible consequences and dangers that they're putting their employees in, as well as both Earths. I also want to mention that one of the reasons why Kingdom was doing experiments for Radivores, or at least this is a theory of mine, is that the fact that these little creatures have a connection to the Interverse, where we saw in like a home screen visuals that Gecko was able to escape Kingdom West through a portal. Now the question is, who opened that portal? Or did they just find a random one, and why did it just lead out into this alleyway? And even in the Sunset cinematic, Gecko says that this little portal, or whatever is inside the portal, looks kind of like Wingman. And if we look at these properties and the way it looks like in the shapes and the fluids, this portal does look quite similar to the colors and textures that we see on Radivores. And these Radivores creatures kind of see the world differently from us.
Yo, Wings. It kind of looks like you.
There's also that time where Gecko mentions that their creatures have seen Yoru before, as if they can see him when he travels in between dimensions.
Of course you've seen Yoru before. We live with him. What are you talking about? What do you mean Astra is glowing? She's just standing here. Come on, focus up.
I'm trying to tell you guys, everything is starting to unravel little by little. I just hope the payoff is well worth it, because we've been talking about the Interverse for a while, and we've legitimately have like little to no information about it. Another thing that I do want to point out is that it could be something related to the Lotus site, because the Lotus site on Omega Earth did go off, but only briefly. And there was this whole conversation between Harbor and Astro talking about how that Lotus site was to go off, and the one on Alpha isn't here. To kind of like counterbalance it, there could be destruction in India. Maybe there was a little bit of consequences of it being set off, even though it was very briefly. And we might see the aftermath of such an event going on in the Interverse. There's also the Scions, who on Alpha Earth, it looks like they are completely gone, but on Omega Earth, the Scions of Hourglass can still be active, because we remember seeing some of their members in the Revelation trailer fighting the Omega version of Valorant, which is called the Valorant Legion. But there could also be a third party that's messing with the Interverse, and I think that third party could be aliens. You know, just think, we're getting another Araxys bundle, and the trailers for the Araxys weapons have these little alien creatures that seem to be from an advanced civilization, way far more advanced than what we see on both Omega and Alpha Earth. And if we've studied their trailers, it looks like they're just trying to like harvest individuals to power their ships and technology. And the Interverse could be how they travel to these planets and universes. Or there could be some kind of like strong, powerful source of energy within there that these aliens want to harness. Well, that's just a guess though. For all we know, they could be looking for individuals who are radiant enhanced, or just bio-living tissue altogether. And for all we know, the Valorant Protocol may have had run-ins with them earlier, and we just don't know about it yet. In one of the home screen visuals, we see the Araxys Phantom or Vandal hanging up in one of the displays next to Breach. But first, a word from today's sponsors, where you can step into the world of MiniEmpire, Heroes Never Cry, an auto-battler gacha game where strategy meets adventure. Summon and roll legendary heroes from dozens of ancient civilizations, equip them with powerful skill builds, and conquer your way to glory. With nearly 100 unique heroes and endless combinations, every battle is a test of your strategy and creativity when customizing a team. Best believe victory is always in your hands when launching critical strikes and defending your empire, locking down enemies with precise controls, or using the game's auto-battler features. It's free to play, so join to build, battle, and become a legend. Download MiniEmpire, Hero Never Cry today and start writing your own epic story. And with that out the way, let's get back on topic. I think it would be kind of cool if we actually see these creatures in Valorant's story as a canon entity, where both the Omega and Alpha version of the Valorant Protocol and Legion work together to defeat them, or at least hold them back. And it would be kind of like a cool twist where instead of the Valorant Protocol and Legion fighting each other, they're actually fighting together against a common enemy. But that's just a thought. And yes, I am jumping to conclusions a little bit, but that's what we do best here. We jump to conclusions so often that we make it look like an Olympic sport. But yeah, it looks like episode 10 is definitely going to be a chapter in Valorant's story where we finally get to know more about the Interverse. We also have this email titled A Year of First Light, and it's sent from Kingdom Industries. One of the things that is kind of interesting is that the Kingdom logo is shaped very similar to the Valorant default logo too, that we see often. I think one of the reasons why Brimstone got this message is because he used to work for Kingdom in their KSEC division, which is their private military and security unit. Because at the end of the day, as far as we know, Kingdom does not fund the Valorant Protocol. Regardless, this email reads, Kingdom welcomes you to join us as we remember First Light. Check the attachment calendar for information on our upcoming year of celebrations, packed with endless events that you won't want to miss. Witness the latest innovations and discoveries that are racing us into a bright future, all made possible by that fateful day which changed our world forever. Dream it better with Kingdom. And one of the things that kind of jumps out to me is that they're basically saying they're going to have a whole year dedicated to their First Light. That's crazy. I've heard of people say that they have birthday months, but a whole year dedicated to the First Light is very lofty. But then again, it really did change society as a whole. We've heard certain NPC characters talk about they don't even know what it means to pay for gas because of the events that happened with the First Light and the advancement that Kingdom has been able to make with Radiantite.
I know I'm showing my age here, but who remembers the last time we had to pay a gas bill? I mean, it used to cost so much just to keep the lights on. Now I pay almost nothing for energy. It's crazy how much things have changed.
Look, I get it. There's no doubt Kingdom's clean energy thing has totally changed the world. I mean, my whole crib is running on it. The tech is sexy, it's easy to use, and it's literally saving the planet.
And with all that being said, Agent 27 probably has some kind of ties and connection to either the email sent by Kingdom or the voicemail sent by Vyse, because usually whenever a new agent is added to the protocol, they typically introduce some new item that is very important to Valorant. Like I saw how he had a connection with the Scions of Hourglass, Clove helping find Abyss, Vyse having a tie-in with the Interverse. So my best guess is that Agent 27 is probably also going to have a major tie-in with the Interverse, or he could possibly crash a party celebrating their first light. Only time will tell. But that's all we have so far from this update. You guys let me know how you feel about it, and if you think I'm jumping to conclusions too much by trying to make parallels with the Araxys and Valorant canon story. But regardless, stay safe, be a KDA warrior, and I'll see you later.